Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yuzral. The game is World of Warships. It is the 23rd of May 2017, and oh my word, what a week we have had in the wargaming community, and it's not been a good one, has it? The Forgate saga continues to rumble on. For those of you who want to update on it, I would suggest heading over to the r/World of Warships subreddit. They have got a very good mega thread that, last I looked, was pinned up over there, and that will pretty much bring you up to speed on who said what to who when, and who's done what when to who. For those of you who've asked, no, I am not going to pass comment on it. Number one, if you guys are reading that subreddit, you basically know as much as I do. And as a consequence, since I've nothing useful to say, I'm going to stick to the dictum that, well, if you've nothing useful to say nothing. That's usually sound advice. Instead, I'm just going to get back into some mindless violence, because it's been a while since I've featured any World of Warships gameplay on the channel. Not from choice, things just got in the way. So, what have I got that's interesting? Okay, you know what? We'll do a snap first impressions, because I've had a quick play around with the Kid, the new Tier 8 Premium US destroyer. It's basically a Benson that's traded away one of its torpedo launchers for an extra defensive fire cooldown. And, well, for those of you complaining about how wargaming go for overpowered premiums, trust me, the Kid is not overpowered. I'll do a more detailed video on her when I have time. It's kind of in the works. A ship that I haven't had any time for, however, is this one, the Grasse. Camouflage apparently by MC Escher, as far as I can tell. An interesting take on dazzle pattern camo. You can see here they've used shading to create a 3D effect, and even here in the port, it's worked. So, let's have a look. What have we got? Well, we have a clock handily on the forward part of the bridge, so if you need to know what time it is when you're swabbing the decks and possibly seducing the mademoiselles, I really do not know, but you think you'd have the sense to get a room and do that below decks, then you have that to your favour. Also has a seaplane, looks like triple torpedo tubes, and 9 guns. Let's have a quick glance at the main battery. 152mm guns, some 100mm secondaries backed up. Pretty long range for a tier 6, 16.2 kilometers. Let's just take a look, because the other cruiser with a rep for range is the Budioni, and that reaches out to, 16.6. Okay, so it's got the range of a Budioni, and it's a French cruiser, so it's not going to be sluggish. Well, 33.5 knots is semi-decent, but if we plug in a few upgrades, yes, she gets the engine boost. So you know what, we'll just plug that in. Doesn't get a spotter, so Budioni will outrange her, but we'll plug in a catapult fighter. Defensive fire or hydroacoustic? Let's go jack of all trades, grab the hydroacoustic, because I've got the catapult fighter as a last gasp if I need it. And of course, damage control 2, never leave home without it. So those are all set. I could run premium on the others, I suppose. You know what, let's just do it. Hydroacoustic 2 and set. Check I've got correct currency set on the others. The cat fighter. Well, this is the thing. It's up for 6 minutes. You get 3 charges. That's 18 minutes, assuming that you don't get it shot down in the meantime. Okay, the 3-minute reload's a bit of a pest, but can manage without. And I don't think I have a decent French captain. Yes, I do actually, because of course I have got my 12-pointer. I actually managed to finish off one of the EU sequential missions, which was something of an achievement for me. I've only ever broken 2 of those. So, camoed and concealment experted, she gets to 11.4 kilometers. So, stealth ain't too shabby. Let's see what she gets for upgrades. Probably just the usual stuff. 8.8 second rudder shift. We could take that down to around about, 6.8, 6.9. In fact, you know what? Let's do that. Make her a bit more agile. So there you go. So 7 seconds flat. I overestimated slightly. Damcon 1 because this captain happens to have Last Stand equipped. And then what to go for, Well, cruiser battery, what's the dispersion on these things? 145 meters at 16.2 kilometers. That is what? Around about 0.8, 0.9. Yeah, we don't need to do too much about the dispersion there. Oh, she's got the Valeur and Discipline nameplates. We should have Honneur around here somewhere as well. We should have Honneur around here somewhere. Patrie. There we are, Honneur. For a moment, I thought the de Grasse had no Honneur, which would have been interesting. Okay, so back on topic. Secondary battery mod. Not really. What's the rotation time? 15 seconds on the guns. That's tolerable. Secondary batteries. Well, secondary is garbage. It's a tier 6. The accuracy is always going to suck, and I don't have any secondary skills on it anyway. So you know what? We're going to go for... What's her flak? Long-range flak. Oh, blimey! Her main battery is dual purpose? Funsies. Funsies are going to result. Grab the AA guns mod. Oh, wow. Oh, that was unexpected. And, of course, we will remove the poudre B from the ship because exploding is bad. Right, so that's done a quick and dirty setup. You know what, let's shove on a couple of flags as well. Speed. That's all good. We'll rack up a bit more anti-air as well because I am a complete meanie like this. No manual AA on this captain, which is a bit of a pest, but you never know. And we will also shove on an India X-ray and an anti-fire flag. Right, okay, that will do for our purposes. Let's go. Let's see what this Mademoiselle is capable of. Never actually taken her out before, and I haven't taken the French cruisers up this far either. I'm still on the Friant. So this is going to be as much a mystery to you guys, or rather to me, as it is to you guys. Let's see where this takes us. Snap first impressions video. One game. Completely unscientific, and the matchmaking is kind. Tiers 5 and 6. Clearly either everybody is out to do some seal clubbing and it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, or it's possible that nobody can sleep. Then again, this is a pretty cruiser heavy game, so maybe it's just one of those weird things the matchmaker has come up with. So ring domination mode, 20 seconds. Let's have a quick glance at the deployments. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. We'll start by pushing up towards D. We'll support that. And if the enemy bogue is foolish enough to sail closer, then we shall introduce it to a 152mm flak gun. At this rate, I figure it's a matter of time until the Japanese get themselves some beehive shells. Come on, Wargaming, you know it makes sense. Just the thought of a 460mm anti-air gun. Oof, yes. Maybe if they ever put Musashi in, you never know. So, crank out. I'm not going to plug in the engine boost just yet. We'll see what we get on normal speed. It should be around about 35 knots, given we've got Sierra Mike loaded. Just as gentle amble on down. We'll support the Minikaze and the Cleveland and see where this takes us. Incidentally, a bit of history. De Grasse never actually existed in this form. She was planned in this design, but there was the whole small matter of the Germans invading and conquering the place. So when she did eventually get completed, it was after the war. In fact, I believe it was 1958 before she saw service. And what the French ended up with, well, a lot of us were kind of hoping we'd see the post-war version of this ship up at tier 9 or 10, because it's basically a 1950s take on the Atlanta. And those of you who are familiar with my playstyle in World of Warships will be aware that I kind of like the Atlanta. It's actually my most played ship. I've got close to 600 games in her. Yes, I know that marks me out as some kind of weirdo, but hey, it takes all sorts to make to make the world. Now, there's a Duca, the traditional rival. Of course, the French and the Italians basically hated each other's guts. Now, Hayek's coming down. Pop. And, well, I'm not sure how much of that was a flag and how much of it was RNGesus, but we got a fire to start with, and he has immediately popped his damage control. So, I'm going to armor piercing for the next salvo, angle forwards, and then we're going to hit Duca again on the turn. We're now loaded armor piercing, angling up towards Epic Tide to engage him. AP is loaded, and yoink. I don't know why he's stopped. Has he crashed? No, his guns are firing, so he's just had a bad attack of... Whoa! Citadel at that kind of angle? Yes, please, monsieur. Also, I need to be careful myself. Hey! Either that is the most unlucky... Yeah, I think we'll just call it a very, very unlucky Omaha, but whoa. 3 citadels, and I was barely trying, and it was a 45-degree angle. And excuse me, I have a destroyer to bully. Lock on, fire rounds, armor piercing, but hey, it's what's in the breach. It's kill securing, ladies and gentlemen. And we have what appears to be a carrier snipe against the Bogue from the enemy carrier. Well, marks for effort, particularly since he can't manually drop, but he's going to have to fly through a lot of flak in order to make that work. Okay, so 34.6 knots as standard. Alright. Let's see, where did I leave that nitrous boost? Oh yes. Plug it in. 3 minutes of speed! Right. Let's see how fast this thing decides to go. 34, 35, 37, 38. Oh, hello, Monsieur Le Bogue. You have some torpedo bombers, that's nice. I suspect... Oh, knocked one. I suspect this ship would probably benefit from having access to manual control of anti-air. This thing is going to be an anti-air seal clubber's dream. Also, thank you so much, bombers. You are leading me straight back to your converted freighter of a home base. Still, we only knocked down one, so maybe the anti-air isn't quite as impressive as we've been led to believe. Lock on again. And there is Monsieur Le Bogue. Excuse me a second. I'm just going to get myself a new fur coat. Hello, monsieur. Don't run, please. You're just going to die tired. Yoink. Whoa. What is... Okay, I know the Bogue's a converted freighter, but high explosive citadels... Okay, that might have been plunging fire onto the deck. Or it might just have been dumb luck. Let's see. Stern turret angle's not exactly the most generous, is it? Pop. Come on, monsieur. You cannot run from me, and you know it. Another 5,000. Yep, someone's just run to Furataka's main armor belt. Another citadel, and his engine's out. And yeah, he's not going to be able to fix any of this. Not unless he's got a high-tier... Well, I suppose if he's got last stand, but it's not something you tend to take on a carrier captain, because on the basis that by the time you need to worry about your engines or anything else, oi, that's my kill. Ugh. Well, okay, no, that's unfair of me. There is no such thing as a my kill in this game, but ha, right, that's that. But yeah, 30, what was it, 37, 38 knots in a tier 6 cruiser. The guns feel nice. That's the only way to describe them. Unfortunately, now that we're done clubbing some seals, we've got 20 seconds left on the speed boost, which is just enough to get us back into range, and we're going to have to start tackling something a bit tougher, namely those battleships. Although if we can bully Little Miss Denial over there, we might get somewhere. Pampalius, tell me you've got that torpedo beat right. Yep, he's got it right. Oh, wow, that's kind of nice. That was a cross drop. Very nicely done, my friend. Okay, so close up, get to the Bayern. And you know what? Let's see how these guns do at extended range. So, 15 kilometers. We've got lock on the Bayern. Adjust for angle. Start firing. Of course, I do light myself up to everyone in range. This thing's stealth is only good until it pulls the trigger, at which point you're basically advertising yourself to a quarter of the map. Got that first shot wrong. 13 kilometers. Time of flight, 8.5 seconds. Dispersion's pretty solid. And admittedly, he's being distracted by the Minikaze, so he's not really looking at me. I think he's actually looking at La Grasse on the air. Reload again. Or he's possibly wondering just how soon he can mash the R key and stop all that burnination. Oh, Paulius goes down. He goes down to the Fossau as well. Such misfortune. Destroy getting hit by main battery fire from a battleship. Okay, skid round the corner. Ooh, one rather badly battered Bayern. Only got the forward turrets in play. Not quite got the angle on this stern turret. I suspect this is going to be one of those ships where the stern turret is really just for show, and that Fossau is looking my way. Hard turn, hard turn, hard turn. For those of you wondering, yes, I'm fully aware that the Fossau completely overmatches my armour. That's not the point. I want to give him as small a target as possible. He has just fired his batteries, so that's that. Get the cat fighter up, get the speed boost going, and get hydro going as well. Now, dump the torpedoes, because we are chasing this Mutsuki. And if there's a Japanese destroyer about, yeah, there are the torpedoes. And oh wow, there's a Nuremberg there as well. Okay, denials popped to smoke. Not just a river in Egypt. And oh wow, I lost 10,000 health and barely realised. Okay, let's put this Nuremberg down. Snapshot at first, that's probably going to miss aft. Problem is, if I turn too hard, I am going to go broadside to the Fossau, and well, that would be bad. Crunch, okay, maybe it wasn't as much of a snapshot as I thought. Problem is, I've really got to go broadside to the Fossau because I need to close the range on the Mutsuki. And, oh, that's another fire. Ow, that was a citadel. Okay, so Nuremberg's got the shot, but the... Come on, come on. Right, there we go. Rounds out. They're I don't know if they're even trying to do it deliberately, but they're doing a very good job of driving me away from the Mutsuki's smoke. Of course, with the Nuremberg now gone, and the Fossau almost gone, excuse me for a second, I don't even know why I'm bothering to do this except for the whole self-defense principle of get it dead now. Not that it was necessary, because I can't actually get Kraken Unleashed in this. Test ships do not accumulate stats. They do not accumulate rewards either. Now, the Mutsuki has got detection, which means he's broken out of his smoke. Okay, unfortunately my hydro has just expired, which means I've got to wait for my cat fighter to come back round. And, oh, by the way, a Mutsuki does 37 knots out of the box, so even with the speed boost, I don't think I can catch up to him. So, lock the guns just for safety's sake. That way I don't have to worry about the mouse look throwing off my aim. Yes, I know I could hold down the right mouse button. I'm lazy like that. Let's see where this goes. Come on, little Miss Denial. Where have you got to? Where have you gone? You're going to be lining up for torpedoes, I know that much. What would I be doing in your position? I would be ducking behind the island and trying to set up a torpedo strike. So, let's force his hand a little. If we assume he is off to starboard and has ducked behind this island here. In fact, let's give you a better view. Ducked behind the island here at C4. I'm basically going to force his hand by going into A. Now, okay, there we go. He obligingly blew his cover. Not that it matters, because the game is over. Whew. Okay, first impressions is that she's nice. Ooh, oh, wow, she is very nice. 82 hits, 62,000 damage. On a tier 6 cruiser, that is not too shabby at all. And overall came in 4th, top of the cruisers, 1200 XP. The Cleveland, of course, was pretty much farming caps, I think. 6 fires, 5 citadels. Wasn't expecting to get citadels at that kind of angle on either the Bogue or the... What was that other one I shot up? Can't even remember. The victims, they all blur together after a while. Let's reload some flags. So definitely the speed boost. That gives her an edge. And the extra fire chance. What is the fire chance with this equip, by the way? 12.5% on guns that reload in 7.5 seconds. I don't think have I got Demo Expert on this? No, I have not. Oh, wow. Okay, excuse me a moment. How much to reset? Oh, this is going to be dirty. Of course, this might also turn into a humiliating embarrassment, but we'll take priority target, last stand, Demo Expert, because I'm evil, and concealment expert because that certainly helped. That leaves me 2 points to work with. You know what? We will put up direction center for catapult aircraft just for extra protection. The flak I do not think is going to be worth it. You're going to need a high tier captain. You're going to need to load manual anti-air at the very least in order to take advantage of the fact that this thing's 152mm guns and its 100mm guns are both dual purpose, and even then you wouldn't necessarily get that much from it because that essentially doubles it up. So 40 DPS, 50 DPS, you get 90 DPS. Tier 6, yeah, that's going to make a dent, but it's not the be-all and end-all. However, a fire chance of 14.5%, firing 9 rounds every 7.5 seconds. Yeah, we're gonna have us some fun. Let's go again. I'm actually kind of hoping the matchmaking's going to be unkind here, and ooh, yes, okay, this is going to be somewhat stiffer opposition. A lot of battleships, we're going up to tier 8, there's a Saipan on the enemy team, and only 2 destroyers and 4 cruisers to bully, and one of them's an Akazuki, so, we'll see. The other point, of course, is that there's a Leningrad on the enemy team, and those things, well, they're an annoyingly hard target to hit, so it'll be a good test of this thing's gunnery. And my aim, which is probably going to foul any results that might have been scientifically obtained. So, standard battle rather than control points this time, and I'm just going to hang a little bit back to start with. Don't want to go rushing out in front and getting blown away by an angry biscuit. And we'll let the Nagato and the Chapayev take point, and the Kagero. So, guns locked, just off to port side to start with. I suspect that you're going to have to show a bit too much angle to get that stern turret into play. A lot of the time, de Grasse is effectively only going to have 6 guns. But coming off that first battle where she was top tier, she felt very light, very quick. The guns are nice at 15 seconds. Bear in mind that I'm used to Japanese heavy cruisers and Japanese destroyers, so I'm used to guns that take 30 seconds to traverse, or even more than that. So 15 seconds, oh yeah, I'll take it. That is extremely pleasant. Speed's good. Handling is extremely good once you put the rudder shift in. Oh, God. That's an appalling joke, right down to the standards I've come to expect of the goons. Still, let's see what we get. Top tier, yeah, she's maybe a smidge overpowered, if anything. That quick reload, 7.5 seconds. I'm going to take a look at La Galissonière's base reload once I get a moment. But we shall see. That ducky just ducked out of sight. There's a Kutuzov over there. The Chapayev is taking the long way round, which is kind of interesting. I'm actually going to decelerate, let him pass in front. I want to run the range down to about 16 kilometers or so. Try to get some long-range gunnery in on those battleships. Oh yes, I keep forgetting, of course, this is a Chapayev's idea of long-range gunnery, isn't it? Okay, cut speed, cut behind him. and safely pass ahead. So we've got a Scharnhorst and a Cleveland wandering over here. The Chapayev is going to be getting attention. First order of business, I think, is probably going to be that Nagato. Nice easy target, 18 kilometers out. Yeah, if you're switching from front quarter to front quarter, the forward guns are quick enough that it's not going to be an issue. Whoa, something's got detection, which means we have a destroyer lurking. Get the fighters up. Let's see what the Hillbilly Hydro has to say. And we have already got one ship locked on. Just starting the waggle. Okay, ducked behind. He's lost his torpedo. Lost his target officer. That might be a destroyer launching its torpedoes. There's the Leningrad. Right, let's see what happens when we start shooting. Tirpitz has got his first blood. Bullied a destroyer at close range. Oh, missed long a little. Fine, get the next round out. And yep, jinked away from that high explosive volley from the Cleveland. Bingo, one fire started. Get the forward guns into play. The Leningrad's at 10 kilometers. Might switch away from the Nagato. He is burning, but ooh, those were, well, I lost 6,000, so those were probably just standard penetrations, which is a little awkward considering they hit the stern. I would have expected overpens at that kind of distance, but clearly there was enough armour to trigger the fuse and enough space to give it time to detonate inside the ship. Now, where's this Leningrad got to? I really shouldn't be showing this much side to even a Russian destroyer, because French cruisers, yeah, they may handle brilliantly, they may throw a good punch, but they can't take one. Nagato's letting that fire burn. Okay, hit him again. I just want to see if we can provoke his damage control out before we really cut loose. There's also the Scharnhorst to think about. Don't want to get too close, or that Tirpitz is going to mess me up. Okay, second Nagato. Oh, fires out. Well, that, I think, burned out naturally. Got 11,000 damage off it. Okay, rounds are out. Always problematic with targets at this kind of long range. Two ships locked on. Bingo, 2 fires. Now, is he going to pop his damcon? Yes, he did. Right, rounds out again. Turn away. Zycraft has finally decided I need to be swatted. Youch! Straight up the stern. Lewd, Nagato, lewd. Also rather effective. Still, if the Nagato and the Akazuki are both locked on, you know what, let's just tap the ducky. See if she responds. He was slowing for smoke. Where's that going? Missed. Blast. Okay, loop back. Time to circle around and re-engage. Well, it's not been completely wrecked. Most of the damage I've taken was from that one shot up the stern from the 16 inches. And yes, that, I think, was a citadel. At least one. I'm not sure where the second round went, if indeed there was a second hit. But definitely not a pleasant experience. Still, you tempt the mademoiselles, occasionally they hit you back. Right, so locked, set, and fire. Saipan overhead, just lock the guns out of habit. Zycraft is still out for blood. I think I might have annoyed him somehow, so turn in. Artillery beat through that salvo, and something has got direct visual, which means that Leningrad is lurking. Then again, maybe not. We've gone back to air detection only. Did manage to down a Saipan playing those, so that's something. Lock onto the ducky again, get some rounds out. Yeah, I'm having to be far more cautious at high tiers here. Basically playing kiss chase. Now those rounds are coming down. Crunch. 3 into the ducky, 2,000 damage. Can I hit the Kutuzov from here? Dodgy, but you never know. The Leningrad's over there as well, so that explains the situation of where the destroyers all went. And yes, I think I really have annoyed Ixcraft. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He very definitely wants me dead, and so do 2 other people. So duck out of sight for a second, slam on the brakes, And we shall take advantage of the Frenchman's speed, ladies and gentlemen, at a full stop. That sounded bad. Comrade, are you all right over there? Oh, right, okay. Well, he shall be remembered. Posthumous Order of the Red Banner, I think it is. Anyhow, oh, we're detected. I should not be sitting still while detected. That Scharnhorst is looking hungry. Although nothing is actually locked onto me at the moment. Got another fire burning. Now, is Shiny Horse going to put it out? Don't think so. So we'll switch fire for a second. Ooh, someone's locked on. Give the guns a second to sort themselves out. Let's annoy X-Craft again. After all, he seemed to like it last time. Okay, rounds out. Oh, he's on fire anyway. Wasn't me, that for once. And that, yeah, that Scharnhorst has definitely gotten annoyed. I think I might have pushed my luck. Oh, Saipan. Must not catch carrier fever. Not when I have got an 11-second reloading battleship looking at me with what can only be described as hunger. I'm going to have to risk turning broadside to him. Got another fire going, so I think we've either drawn his damn con or he's going to burn either way. Rounds out again. Got lucky with the Nagato that time. Nothing went up the stern. Lewd. Get a couple more rounds. Whoa. Not sure where that came from. I think it was the other Scharnhorst, Commander Corrigan. No one's locked onto me at the moment, so you can insert all the jokes you like about running away at this point, but it really is the sensible thing to do. Just holding the range open, taking advantage of the agility, and just nibbling them to death with, oh dear. Whew. That was a bit closer than I would have liked. Okay, no fire, sadly. Never mind, that armor-piercing salvo is probably going to finish him. Nope, apparently not. Maybe that high-X salvo? No, we've just lost a Fiji. God, have we really lost all those ships so far? Okay, well, the good news is that we've managed to push back one of the Nagatos, and one of their cruisers is gone as well. We have got a bearing on their Saipan. I'm going to chance it. Plug in the speed boost. This might be a good moment to muzzle the guns, go stealthy, and oh, never mind, the Saipan's running away. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, I suppose we can try for a Tirpitz. After all, we had some luck bullying that Nuremberg last time. Yoink. And oh, a couple of torpedo hits. That will hopefully have drawn his damage control. I'd say carrier fever was bad, but at this point I'd say it's also necessary if we're going to turn this battle around. We absolutely need to take his aircraft out of the equation, or this is going to get very ugly. Please, please, please go for the Nagato. That was unworthy of me, but he heard me. Well, German, yeah, German sausage, not particularly welcome either. Thankfully, German sausage is not particularly accurate either, so turn in, artillery beat, luckily that overpenned. Unluckily, oh yes, I forgot, Tirpitz has those upgraded secondaries, doesn't it? Run away, run away, run away. This is the end for La Galissonière. Yeah. And it's pretty much the end for the match as well. We are down quite badly. I have to say I didn't contribute all that much. Did more health damage than I have health. So arguably I'm ahead of the game there. And Kamiko is about to pay for killing me. And pay dearly. Come on, Blinks. There we go. Got him. Okay, so we've clawed another ship back. Odsium is now isolated, which is something, but Blinks has got a bit of a problem. So, 7.5 seconds reload on the guns, 15-second reverse fire chance, fully spec'd up to potentially 15% plus if you factor in both fire signals as well. A carrier who is carrying as hard as he can And you never know, he might just get away with it. If he can nail Commander Corrigan with this next torpedo strike, I mean, there's really nowhere Corrigan can turn. His flak's being split among the fighters as well. In come the torpedo bombers. Come on. Fish in the water. Corrigan's turning, but is it going to be enough? He takes one hit. Has that started flooding him? No, it hasn't. So he gets to survive, which means the Saipan has got to reload. Blinks nails the Kutuzov, and all of a sudden we are starting to pull this back. However, Blinks has got problems of his own. Those are torpedoes catching behind him. Saipan is cross-dropping. Destroyer is cross-dropping as well. That's from the... Actually, I'm not sure who's that from, but he's turning as hard as he can to avoid the Saipan's cross-drop, and he just makes it. Meanwhile, over on the left side, Biscuit's in trouble. 7,000 health. A Hood, a Leningrad, and a Nuremberg chasing him down. However, history repeats itself. He sends the Hood to the bottom. Unfortunately, he does now have to deal with a Leningrad and a Nuremberg, and he's on fire. And from the fact that he isn't controlling it, I suspect his damage control might be on cooldown. Now, is he going to get his secondaries onto the Leningrad? He's certainly close enough to make it work, but he's got another fire burning. He's on 5,800 health. He's lining his main batteries up onto Banjalan, who's got his torpedoes down, but TR has managed to dodge him, but he's going to burn down. It's just a question whether he manages to take Banjalan with him. No, he does not. 6 ships to 3. It all comes down to the Saipan. And, of course, Binks in the Belfast, who is currently bullying down Commander Corrigan. 3 ships to 5. However, we have a cap in progress. The alert siren is going off. The Leningrad... No, actually, it's the Akizuki that must have gotten in there. And no one can really respond in time. The fighters might be able to get a spot into play, but they're going to have to move immediately, and then the torpedo bombers are going to have to land a hit. Carrier drivers realise the danger. He's turned his fighters back in. They're moving in to start running reconnaissance, and they've spotted the Akizuki. That will light it up. Bluffy is now in danger from Blinks' own high explosive batteries. He's realised what's going on. He's putting his own rounds out. He knows he's been detected. It doesn't matter. Stealth no longer serves him. All that will save him now is rate of fire. Bear in mind that, yes, that's 10 centimetre armor piercing, but he's firing against the light cruiser, so it can still penetrate. It can still do damage. Blinks angling up, however, so he's going to be able to mitigate the worst of it. He has, however, only got his forward turrets engaging. His stern turrets are pointing completely the wrong way. They're tracking round, but he's only on 1100 health. He needs to get shots out and into Bluffy immediately. Forward turrets or nothing. Anything will do at this point because Banjalan is lining up on him. It's just a question of whether he can reset the cap before Banjalan puts him down. However, that doesn't seem to be the way Blinks is playing it. He's got his turrets lining up on the Nuremberg. The Nuremberg is a one-shot, 2,500 health. High explosive is out. Rounds come down. They strip Banjalan down to 1,000 health. Banjalan now knows the danger. He's trying to evade, but there's a second salvo in. That puts him down, but Blinks is in trouble as well. He's on 5,000 health. The Ducky has fired up the machine guns. Is she going to feast tonight? 300 health, and Blinks goes down, but Blinks did manage to reset the cap on Bluffy. Now that should give Keeper 13 time enough to get close. It also gives Dragon Killer time to get his own bombers overhead, but that's an Akizuki. That thing is an anti-air destroyer, and okay, while it hasn't got defensive fire, it is still going to be an extremely potent adversary. Bluffy has switched over to high explosive. He's locked on to Keeper. Keeper's turning hard. He's got 627mm guns, so he packs a heavier punch on his Alpha Strike, but Bluffy has absolutely got the rate of fire. He's switched over to armor piercing. That suggests he doesn't actually have inertia fusing. He's going for the conventional shot, and it might just pay off. That sheer rate of fire from the 10cm guns. Keeper, I think, has realised he's doomed. He's got torpedoes in the water. Keeper is down. It is now down to the Saipan. Can Dragon Killer pull himself a solo warrior? Probably not. He has got to manage somehow to torpedo an Akizuki, and then he's got to hunt down and kill a Leningrad, a Nagato, and another Saipan. And I don't think he's got any bombers left, because we haven't seen any torpedo shots from him in a while. However, Bluffy is about to get a rather unwelcome surprise. Is he going to be able to turn hard enough to dodge this? Yes, he scrapes the paint. Torpedo Beat saves him. The Leningrad is in the cap circle. Fixenbar is now securing it. And unfortunately, if Dragon Killer has got no torpedo bombers left, that is game over for Team Green. And it's a shame, because with 80 minutes to go, that was almost a nail-biter of a finish. But unfortunately, even Saipans can run out of planes. And Blinks, yeah, got a crack on the leash, but couldn't carry hard enough. That is at least partially my fault. 64 hits, 5 fires. But Gallus on the air, not so good when she's bottom tier, it has to be said. And Bluffy, oh, come on. That is, yeah, a poi bomb, really? You're not even in a Shiratsu. Just a little combo breaker for giggles, because why not? And yes, I know, I wasn't in an Akatsuki either. However, last rites are being administered. Odzium is just chasing down the Dragon Killer. He's not going to be dessing much longer if he can't get around from behind that Saipan. And that's not going to matter because the Leningrad's got his teeth into him as well. Well, let's just crack as many memes as we can. It's late, no one really cares, and yeah, de Grasse. Well, yeah. So, yeah. Top tier, yeah, she is nasty. I think that's unquestionably the case. Struggles against battleships. I had to play a very long-range game there. Had to make good use of the agility. Her speed boost, I think, is going to allow her to dominate a late game. But, well, I was dead by that point. But she's got the traditional French downside, hasn't she? She's got next to no armour. Dragon Killer, yep, he is going out honourably. Ramming speed. Witness him, ladies and gentlemen. Witness him. Unfortunately, with 8 seconds, he is not going to be going to Valhalla, and he is highly unlikely to be sailing shiny and chrome. Denied indeed. Right, okay, so with the fun taken care of... oh, and I managed to finish up one of the tasks as well. 180,000 damage. Whoop! Okay, I think that gets me on to task 5 of there. So... let's just take a quick look at Galissonier's stats, because she is the Tech Tree Tier 6. I have a suspicion that her reload was somewhat longer than 7.5 seconds. La Galissoniere and main gun reload 10 seconds. Yeah. 15.9. Yeah. I hate to have to say it, but I think de Grasse might be in slight need of a nerf. She is, let's see, she's faster than Galissoniere. She's longer ranged than Galissoniere. I think she's got the same torpedoes, the 23 DTs. Let's just double check that. Yep, 23 DTs. Has to be noted, Galissoniere has got a quicker reload, 60 seconds, but that's because they're dual tubes on the A hull. If we switch over to the B hull for a second, yeah, that's because they're double tubes, so her overall DPM's the same, and she actually puts down arguably a slightly wider salvo. I've always considered triple tubes to be a bit of a sweet spot for torpedoes. But hey, I liked Fubuki, I like Akatsuki as well, so maybe that's just my personal taste. Anti-air defense... Yeah, again, Galissonier's guns aren't dual purpose. De Grasse's aren't. You can see the slight difference in the turrets, most notably in the fact that her mountings allow for high angle fire. Yeah, I hate to say it, but this ship is in need of something of a nerf. The question is how and what. I would certainly up her reload time. 7.5 seconds is the kind of thing we had on the French cruisers during their testing cycle, and believe me, we were wrecking face. One of the reasons that Friant has got such an appalling reload is that she used to have a 6-second reload on those guns, and believe me, she was a seal clubbing monster in the couple of games I played with her. So definitely hoik the reload up. I would say probably to the same 12 seconds as Galissonier. I might even go higher, 12.5 or 13. Might also cut the range back. The speed and the horsepower, I suspect that may be a case of something that's fixed by her plans, so that's not something we can do all that much about. Torpedoes likewise. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be the main battery that gets a nerf, and possibly consider taking the anti-air away from the 152mm guns. Doesn't make that much of a difference in practical terms, but it does give her just that little bit of a nudge back down. As I say, once you plug manual anti-air into these things and start stacking her, okay, she's not going to be an Atlanta, she's not going to manage that kind of devastation, but she's still going to be pretty nasty in her current form. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Yuzral. That has been 48 minutes, give or take, with De Grasse and some mindless violence just to blow off some stress, and we'll see where things go with her during her test cycle. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, farewell.